what I did is I opened through Firefox, I opened my Gmail account and I attached the file inside this. So that's where I download it. Yeah, I mean, it's pretty lengthy way of doing this stuff. But let me check out with guys what needs to be enabled. Some sort of a settings over here, if it's been enabled, you should be able to directly make a copy. But I'm not. Wait, I used to know this some 2 years back. Even I played around with it, but absolutely I don't have any clue what needs to be done now. I mean that's not for this machine. For the Cloudera machine, VM I used to do that setup. But now I can't think of any. I mean, what I remember is some setting is there over here which will make your sharing available. I mean, I did it using the Google help. Google it, some guys would have definitely a solution for it. But anyways, I'll check this with the VM guys. So, but the temporary solution for this is just try to open, see, I mean, this is what I did for today's session. So I just opened that, used all this file, downloaded it, and then do it. Apart from the, okay, basically, if this has not been sorted, you guys would not have done anything else in that case, right? Yeah. Okay. For the time being, let's try to at least get these things done. So just try to pick up help, open your email into the AcadGuild VM itself, and then try sorting that out. Okay. So that way we move forward from the sessions. Yeah, and if time permits, we'll try to execute one of those scenarios. Okay, but what is happening is that document is clearly defined. Each and every line, what needs to be done is just a matter of copy pasting it and then executing it. And PIG is one of the easiest way to execute. But you can make it a little complicated, bringing in more business scenarios in case like that. You can add complexity to it. Unless and otherwise, it's pretty straightforward. Loading it, then filtering it, grouping it, then do some aggregate, and then store it. That's as simple as that. But yeah, I mean, that's not really the one which you see in product. So in your project also, you might be seeing a little complicated one. That's where you guys need to start working on. So let's pick up today's topic, which is advanced Mapreduce. I guess many of the questions was based on advanced Mapreduce in the last session. So what we're planning to do is, where is my file? Okay, guys, yeah. What exactly we can do by adding? Oh, you're talking about copying file from desktop to the VM machine, path to share folder in Oracle VirtualBox settings. Okay, yeah. I mean, there is a workaround. So let me just try to. I mean, if there is a document or something, or in case nothing is being created, I'll ask them to create a document, and so that it's easy for every one of us to do that. Yeah, I understand that there is some share folder creation or something of that sort. Let's try to plug that aside, and when you have some clear-cut information, Kaushik, you can go ahead and respond to that email which we have, chain of email which I sent you the link. So that also, I mean, just share each one else of our knowledge, though. Pretty much okay with that. Okay. Okay, let's move on with the current today's topic, what we have, the advanced Mapreduce one. So we'll have one more session on this one with a couple of more topics being covered over here. So join, what we saw over join is, that's something which we explained pretty much in detail, how exactly a join helps in the big environment. I have two small table, how exactly I'm going to do a join. So that's what we discussed. So now what we're talking about is I have two text file, okay? How exactly I'm going to use my Java programming and then try to combine these two files is what we're going to see through join. When do we need to use join? Everyone knows it by this time. It's an inner join that we're going to cover with two similar sounding property, basically employee ID or a department ID. When the department ID is same, I just try to join it and bring in a department name, something of that sort. So that's exactly when we are trying to train over here as a join. Now, some different concept than the normal that I've heard is the distribute cache, which you're going to see in detail what exactly is happening. Map side join. The distributed cache, when we explain, is nothing but the map side join. So we are going to see that, how exactly map side joining is done. and we'll try to do a hands-on. And the reduce join, there is actually a Java program being provided. I want you guys to try executing it. This, we are going to do it hands-on over here, how the distribute cache is going to work or the map side join. But this is something which I want you guys to try it out. Program, everything is available, just copy paste it. Try executing it so that you have that comfort zone with you and comfort level is being much increased. So that's a plan for today. So all this theory, what's join, combining two data set, by this time everyone knows. But key thing what we need to do over here is what's map side join, what's reduce side join. Okay, let's start looking into that a little bit more in detail. When do we need to use join? That's all theory, which I'm not really so interested in. Okay, map side join. Let me ask questions now. Oh, I was just trying to do the Paint stuff, but I found PowerPoint as much better than Paint because I'm not a good artist by nature. So sorry, someone today can't see. Our Vikalp, he used to be the one who gives me some suggestions. Okay, all right. So two join that we need to understand is over here is map side join and reduce side join. I'm assuming everyone understand the mapper and the reducer concept over here. Is that a right assumption that I'm making? Mapper and the reducer, how exactly it's making. Okay, so that's exactly what we need to understand as a prerequisite for the map side join. So what you're going to do over here is, let's bring in some shape. This is my mapper. And when I say this is my mapper, it's nothing but this is just my, let's give some quite a bit of space so that it's easy for me to play around with that. Okay. Oh yeah, it's much easier, right? Control C and Control V. Yeah, at times brain doesn't work, so sorry for that. Okay. Yeah, because busy in exams. Yeah, he updated in the last sessions. True. Yeah. Okay, so this is our node, and how exactly a mapper is going to work is what we need to see. So we know that we have a map process, we have a in between sort and shuffle, and then we have at the final stage it's a reduce process. That's the normal ecosystem what we're talking about. So now, I think we explained all these things pretty much in detail. Oh man, where it is gone now? Slideshow, animation, transition, design, insert. Sure. Okay, yeah, I think it should be in file, right? Yeah, okay, there it is. Okay, so basically what we're trying to do is when a mapper, so in terms of you visualizing a mapper of a word count example, everyone understand, right? Hadoop 1 is 1, like 1, that's actually what the mapper was, right? And the reducer, what? It was combining everything together and then making one single step, single count of it. That's exactly what the reducer was. So now in that mapper, how exactly are we going to do a join? That's what we're going to see now. Let me pick up some quick color. Where exactly is the color for here now? Okay, let's make some small shape. This one, let's pick it up. This guy, make it just a little bigger one, and change the color to orange. Okay, and I need one more guy who is going to be a little smaller than him. And okay, let's make this okay. Let's bring in a little smaller. This is exactly what has been explained in our previous session also, okay? I'm just trying to, in terms of, let's make this, okay. So, anyone by any chance remember what exactly we need to do in case of this? One big table, one small table. What should I be using? What is the keyword that should be coming in your brain when I speak about this scenario in terms of pig, this is exactly covered in the last session, trying to be an interviewer over here. So the moment I have a small file and a big file, what should I be using? What the keyword should I be using for handling such kind of a situation? Okay, let's ask in. I mean, that's a technical term which I was looking for, but let's ask in terms of. So this is a scenario currently for you guys. Okay. Let's take an example of I have 64 MB is my block size. I'm assuming by this time everyone knows what exactly is a block size, right? So 64 MB is my block size, okay? And this file is 60 MB for me, and this is maybe a 1 GB or something of that sort. It's a pretty big file, but this is 60 MB, okay? In that case, what should I be doing? The previous session we have covered this. What should I be doing? Where should this green should go? Where exactly this green should go? And where exactly this orange should go? How exactly our architecture should be so that we get a best optimal performance? How it should be? In case those of you who has not even looked into the session, the previous session, or don't have, just blindly, what do you think about it? I have green should go to the top of the blue. Okay, green should go on top of every blue, basically, right? I mean, I'm just trying to sync along with you, Sapna. So yeah, so that's pretty much perfect answer. Control V. So what we need to do? This green should be there available on every of this file. And what exactly is that term? By any chance, anyone remember? In terms of pig, I'm asking, which we already covered in the last session. So what we call for this? What sort of a join is this? Yeah, this is pretty much what it is. You're perfectly right, Sapna. So that's what it is. And what is the name given for this? No, that's a normal term that we use. There is a special keyword that has been used. No. Skewness is, yeah, I mean, so basically we have learned three different sort of join. Okay, three joins we have learned. Anyone able to recollect what exactly was the three different joins? One was merge join. One was what Sagar said, skew join. Yeah. And what was the last one? Or in fact, that was the first one that has been discussed by us. So in case if your brain looks for an order, that's exactly the first one what we discussed in our previous session. Let's start with great. Yes, it starts with replicated, right? So understand the meaning. That's exactly what it is. Replicating. You're actually replicating it and putting it into three places. It's exactly the English word meaning replication, right? So you actually replicate it into three different stuff and put it into three different node altogether, right? That's exactly what we're doing. So since it's a smaller one, what we are trying to do over here is replicated it, putting into three different pins. And there is a high chance of you getting confused with this concept, okay? Because this what you're talking about is in pig, okay? And that exact same concept, when it comes to the Java programming, what we're going to call is distribute cache. Exactly the same concept is going to come in, okay? So this replicated was in terms of pig, okay? And how do you guys remember how exactly we accomplished that replicated thing in the pig script? How did we accomplish it? Where exactly we did? That replication, I mean, where in the pig script that particular stuff came? Yeah, I mean, it's okay to be notepad. Okay. Yes, perfect, Mac. That's all I was expecting. Using replicated. So when we are using a keyword, good that your brain registering. Good. So when we are using join, right? The join keyword was used. Okay. So when join keywords was used, join some table, whatever, ABC or whatever. Finally, the two table name we'll be giving, right? So the last table name, whichever is the smaller one, you'll be just mentioning as using replicated, right? That's exactly what we have seen. So just go through the previous session so that you will be able to understand even what you're talking about. Okay, so that's exactly what it is. That's fine. So I don't anticipate you to remember every of those concepts. Okay, so that exact similar one when it comes to the Java programming is what we're going to see now, which is called as DC. We have a DC car maker, right? Dilip Chabria or someone. Yeah. So just trying to correlate with some guys who's been key on cars should remember immediately DC, which is distribute cache. So make sure in an interview you remember DC as distribute cache rather than Dilip Chabria, right? I think it's Chabria only. Okay. So there we go. Now what should happen? This is my bigger table, right? This bigger table with a multiple block size will be cut, chopped, and then moved into. But this is not replication. Make sure you're understanding that concept. I'm assuming everyone is clear with that concept, right? So this, even if you might be seeing in multiple places, it's actually not a replicated one. This is actually a block size being cut and put over here. Everyone is fine with the concept, right? How exactly a file is placed inside a HDFS node. It's cut into multiple pieces and it's being placed into different nodes. So that's exactly what it is. But here, it's exact same copy of it. I'm just going to make a copy, 3 different copy and exact same copy. The entire file is being placed over here. Small data set is replicated to all nodes in cluster. That's exactly what it is. Not all nodes. So whichever nodes that is required for us will be moved. In terms of the replicated stuff we are talking about. That's how exactly the replication works. Okay, so the moment I use using replicated stuff, automatically it picks up, make a copy of it, and start storing it. The key thumb rule behind this should be less than the memory that it can occupy. Okay, and if you're going to deep dive into it, there are a lot more understand. So what I would, once you get a grip of this concept, try to Google. I mean, once you're done with this course I'm talking about, in fact, so when you're preparing yourself for writing those certification exams and all, there is a lot more. You need to understand what all the parameters I need to change, a lot more deep dive you need to make and understand each, okay, this setting is the one which I need to change and stuff like that. Okay, so at a hawk's eye view, this is what exactly you need to be doing to accomplish whatever our need for the hours is. Okay, so that's been done. Now what I need to do, I need to start correlating these 2 tables, finding out results, this table to this table, finding out result, this table to this table, and coming up with a result. Okay, so that's exactly what and this is happening in the mapper process. So that's the key thing which I want to explain. This is happening in the mapper process. Once this mapper process completes, then the results, whatever is being provided over here, let me put in the results also over here. Let's think of this file, which is in a different color. Let's bring a different color for this guy. Maybe. I can't see a pink over here. Only Sapna is there, who may not be. Let's begin a yellow color over here, okay? Control C, Control V, and Control V again. So we may have 3 different files that's been created out of it, okay? And another thing which I want to say about, so which the research you guys need to do yourself. So I might be talking about just 3 different files. You need to understand more once you go through. So this creates a file, put it over here. This creates a file, put it over here. This creates a file. After that, everything gets merged into one single file in terms of reducer. How exactly file is getting created over here? All this are little, very, very slightly advanced topic, which you guys might be interested in when you are going for preparation. Another thing which you want to look into. Okay, I mean, I don't plan to explain any of those because that's at times fire back and you may not be able to understand many of those concepts. So you need to understand how exactly this file is written over here. Okay, best book, the Bible of Hadoop Definitive Guide. It's been clearly mentioned how exactly things line by line you may have to visualize and start drawing and making a picture out of it. I mean, that's exactly how I learned it, okay? I mean, I do understand completely how exactly things happening from the memory, how exactly spill file is being created, after spill file getting created, how exactly this file is getting created. Very, very simple concept. If you're able to visualize it, each and every of those steps, I can guarantee you that. But try to understand this higher concept, high level concept first, and then deep dive into it. And that is definitely required in case if you want to shine in front of, you want to project out yourself in terms of interview or in terms of your knowledge, definitely you need to do. But my suggestion would be, once you're done with this curriculum and stuff like that, Hadoop definitely guy. Make sure you are understanding each line by line paragraph, and then try to bring up those concepts. Let's move forward. Okay. So now we have reached this stage. Now what I want to do is show you guys exactly what we explain, all these things in the real time. All this was fundas that we have given. Now let's see how exactly this. Everyone clear with this? What exactly? There's nothing much being explained over here. Just very simple concept. This is a map side join, which we call it as distribute cache in terms of Java programming. We call it as distribute cache. That's all you need to understand over here. Okay. Let me see if the slide covers anything more than that. Size with the cache. Just go through this. What exactly is being said? Heap size is in. Try map size. Okay. Distribute cache. It's an extension of a traditional cache using a single local. Distribute cache is a Hadoop feature of cache files. Some call it as cache, some call it as cache. Files needed by application. The work of distribute cache is to copy the cache files into main memory of a data node. Okay. Let's see all those things, how exactly that's been done. This is a figure. So when an initial job starts, the first hard-coded program, what will be written is, I have a distribute cache object being created. I'll be the moment I execute my driver program, immediately my cache file will be stored in one location. Okay. How many of you understand the hash table? How many of you don't understand the hash table? Or how many? There are a lot of non-Java guys over here. Anyone understand a hash table over here? I know that a couple of guys are. I think even Mac is a Java, right? Chandran is, yeah, okay. So not many guys are there who doesn't understand. Okay, so when I say about hash table, just think it as, I believe in completely seeing the image. So I want my participant also in the same line. So when I say hash table, where is it? Okay, this guy, right? Thick border, all border. Like this. Control B will make it bold. No. Okay. Think this is exactly a hash table for me. Okay. Just an array of data that is being stored. So maybe typical example of what I can give is Roman letter 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. How do I write? 8 is this, and the 9, right? Okay. Yeah. So corresponding stuff is going to be what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So this is exactly hash table for me. Okay. So when I ask for this particular 3, it automatically is going to give me this 3 back. That's all what you need to imagine in your mind when I say about map keys to values. Exactly. Map keys to values is what hash table is. So the moment I hit on give me this numerical V, the result is going to come back and give me the 5. So that's all you need to. I'm assuming this is fine with you guys. Yeah, I'm more of a visual person. That's the reason. Okay. So basically what we need to do, first and the foremost, the smaller file, which is our this guy, okay? Smaller file. That's correct, Mac. Based on the hash code, it is going to fetch the value stored at a particular location. So just for a simplicity, I just made this so that if you're not from it's not that an easy concept if you're from a completely a database environment or stuff like that. So there is nothing harm in making it understand clear, or just raising your hand saying that you don't understand. That's pretty much fine. But this is exactly what I want you to visualize when we say of hash table. I'm assuming those non-Java background guys is fine with this concept, right? Okay. So yeah, so I have this green file, which is a smaller file, which has been put into the distribute cache. Okay. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to write a program. And from this distribute cache, I will be storing all this stuff one by one into this hash table files. Okay. And then this particular guy is going to sit on every node. When I say node, it's nothing but every computer. And then what's going to happen? When I ask for a join, record one, directly going to pick up first guy or whichever is the hash table, do comparison, this comparison, this comparison. So that's way it is much faster, and I can get the much better performance oriented over here. That's exactly what is going to happen. Now this is explained much in detail because of my non-great system. You're not able to see it in real base. So it automatically should have created an arrow over here and stuff like that. Okay, the small data set initiated, map initiation. There should be a next line going directly over here. That's what you should see. Step one, map task, read the small data set. Map task is going to read the small data set, put in the distribute cache. Okay, let's see. Let's put in the distribute cache. Okay, so that's what's happening over here. Once it's put in the distribute cache, okay, now that needs to be copied into this hash table, which is nothing but our array. You can think it as an array for a non-other programming guys. It's directly going to copy into an array. And one key benefit of putting into distribute cache is accessible to every of the other nodes. I mean, that's the key advantage of it. Every other node or in every other computer will have a direct access to this distribute cache. That's why it's able to pick it up immediately, load it into a hash table for every computer. Okay, hope that's clear. This small data set to distribute cache setup is done. I have this process, and from that setup process, I filled into a hash table. So distribute cache from here to the setup, and then the hash table has been filled. Next, I'm going to compare using when I'm doing the join command. It's going to combine this HDFS file with hash table, which is sitting in the main memory. Okay, I mean this is actually sitting in the memory when I say hash table. So that's how exactly the system works. Okay. Okay, now let's see. Okay, if you are, what sort of a change you can see in your normal program would be that distributed file what we spoke about. See, this is my customer.csv file, okay, which is a small file for me. This file is this is how I set up my distribute cache in my driver program. We're going to see that entire program now, okay. This is how my distribute cache is picked up in my driver program, which I'll be hard coding in my driver file. Okay, remaining nothing needs to be seen. Okay, so yeah, this is exactly what the file is: small data set and the large data set. Okay, and the following demo. Yeah. So what's the demo going to show? The following demo finds number of transactions made by each customer and total amount spent on each transaction using the above two data set. So two data set will be used, and instead of this customer ID, what I want is the Valentine. Valentine should come over here. So this should get replaced to this one. Okay, and the Stephen should get replaced with the 101 because we are not interested in this customer ID, right? Looking at this data, I can't find out. Plus, what I'm going to do is number of transaction. I just need to sum up this number of transaction. Does this ring a bell when you see such kind of a format? Which process takes care of summing it up? This summing up this particular guy? Any idea? So I have, this is exactly like my Hadoop 1, 1, 1, 1, right? So just a sum of this function is going to get me entire cumulative sum being picked up for those transactions, right? Number of transactions and amount. I can't see number of transaction. Where is number of transaction? Okay, I think it's just this number of transaction ID. Okay. Join. No. My question was, you guys remember, right? There was a mapper process, reducer process. This very first, very early stage. I mean, the initial stage of our sessions, where Hadoop, 1, used to be there, and then a reduce phase. The moment reduce phase come in, that was one line program, which just sum up the entire 1 into maybe 5 or 6 or something. That's exactly what I was trying to say. So this is exactly in the same similar fashion, right? So you just need to sum it up, this 3-4 guys together, you are going to get an end output. Yeah, so I see, let me pick up some of these questions before actually showing you the program. There is no cleanup. So what do you mean by that? So now there is cleanup. Cleanup for what? Cleanup in map side join. Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah, there is some sort of cleanup happening in map side join, which is nothing but, okay, so if I understand your question correct, what I assume is you're asking, once the one file is getting created, does this get wiped out once the process is completed? Is that your question? So once I create this file, I'm not sure whether that yes came after my question or before my question. So I'm assuming that's what you asked, Sapna. Okay. So if that is a question, let me answer that. So basically what's happening over here, usually Mapreduce lifecycle is setup, map, and cleanup. Yeah. So basically what exactly is happening? So this particular phase of it, right? The file is just getting created, right? And once this file is getting created, then it moves to the reduce phase, correct? When I say this file is getting created, I'm just not going to go in detail of what exactly happening over here. This file is getting created into a hard disk actually, okay? There is a lot more intrinsic detail that you need to look into. So there is actually a 30% of free space that is given to a hard disk, which is local to this particular guy, which is not in HDFS environment. In case if you want to close your ear, you can do that. It's something which I'm adding to this thing. But once you're in with the course and all, I definitely want you guys to understand this concept. Okay, just to now give you a very brief of it, what really is happening. This particular file that is being created is a local file that is sitting inside this particular computer. Okay, when I say local file, this will not get deleted unless and until my entire reduce process gets completed. Okay, once the reduce process gets completed, it gives signal back to the resource manager stating that, okay, I'm done with my reduce process. That time it will invoke this cleanup process, what you're talking about, and it's going to delete this particular file. It's going to delete these guys. Okay, and then the cleanup process complete. So it would not do it before that, just because of the reason. Think of a scenario when a reducer node fails in between. So only possible way of getting it back this file is the one which is already generated. It'll again pass it on to a reduce node, and then it redo the cycle, whatever it is. Otherwise, what should happen? The entire stuff, that effort that has been taken for creating this file needs to be again replicated, right? The entire effort needs to be redone. So to avoid that, what has been done is, once the reducer process completes, that is the only time this particular guy these files are going to get, this temporary files are going to get deleted. And that's what's happening with the cleanup process. I'm pretty much sure that some of you would not have got the entire concept, but this is at a high level view. I definitely want you guys to go through the Hadoop Definity Guide and get more and more concept into it. And even it's a pretty interesting concept. Something what you need to understand about is circular buffer memory. Okay, some pointers I'm giving. Circular buffer memory, spill file. That's another concept. Okay, let me note it down so that you have it. First one is circular buffer memory. Okay. Next one, what you need to understand. I'm telling everything in the very sequence order. Spill file. How is the spill file getting created? Once the spill file is getting created, after that is what? This process is going to happen. Circular buffer memory and a spill file and a merge file. Spill file will be created, and that's how this file is getting created. Okay, just before this, there are multiple spill files getting accumulated, and then this file is getting created. Okay. After that, the merge file comes in. The merger comes in place. Post which this will get deleted. So circular buffer memory and spill file. Just make a note of it somewhere, and do it on your research thing. How exactly the entire stuff works. Okay, any questions now before we actually see the program, or any concept somewhere that's you find as a loophole somewhere which is not connecting with us? Okay. Since silence from everyone, I would assume circular buffer memory. Yeah, yeah. Circular buffer memory is actually a memory part of it. How exactly a data is written. So that circular buffer memory is something which I want you guys to do as the job. It's just nothing but how exactly the processing is. It's just a memory, part of a memory. How exactly processing is happening. It's happening in the circular buffer memory. The file creation, whenever I do a merge, or for that matter, any process that's going to happen inside the Hadoop environment, any sort of processing I'm talking about, that is going to happen inside a circular buffer memory. That's a buffer memory that's been allocated. So just try to dig in more into it and try to figure out. And just after that, the spill file concept also is going to come for you. For you to visualize or understand, circular buffer memory is nothing but as a temporary buffer memory available for you, which is available for each and every of this node. Okay. Yeah, let's quickly see how exactly the program looks like. Okay. Make sure I'm assuming you guys can see my screen. So just before the session, just not to make sure I don't waste many of your time. Going up and down with the scene. So I just executed it and made sure that things are working fine. Oh, if I remove that, okay. Now I don't know where to see for your chat window. Okay, I think if I click on the topmost thing, I can see a chat window. Yeah, I can see. Okay, all right. So this is how our driver program looks like. Okay. You would have. I'm pretty much sure you guys know what the remaining stuff is. So only thing what we need to focus over here is the distribute cache part of it. So I'm using a old jar file. That's the reason it's a deprecated one. That's the reason it's not going to harm you. But yeah, if you have I have not downloaded the latest one, so that's why there is a cut over here on the distribute cache. Okay, so once the distribute cache, you need to understand. Remaining stuff is all configuration and all this thing. Yeah, let's park it over here. Now distribute cache dot add cache file. So this is how exactly I'm going to add a cache file. Let me try extending this guy. Yeah. So add file, and what I'm new URI. So basically this is hard-coded stuff for me now. Okay. So what I'm trying to say is at this location, I have my file available, which is added into the distribute cache. Okay. So that's how I'm putting stuff into distribute cache. And from here, I need to, when a mapper program runs, I'm going to take it up and put it into the hash map or right. Hope everyone is fine with that stuff. For this one job, it's nothing but just a label. Just to understand the program that I'm executing is the distribute cache program. So I can just write Shaji over here. Okay, just to make you guys understand, it's nothing important. But this is the important part over here. It's the distribute cache location, which every of the node have access to, and that I'm placing my customer.csv file inside that. Okay. Simple class is nothing but I have just a mapper. I do not have a reducer. And what parameter over here makes that significant that I don't have a reducer? How do I set a reducer to not work? I need to pick up the chat window. Okay. How do I make sure that just to make my reducer? Yeah, set no to. Yeah, given in the code. Yeah, I know you guys are correct. Exactly. Set reduce classical to 0. Now my question. So in case if I comment out this code, what's going to happen? See, these are the kind of questions you can expect from interviewer. Okay, I mean that's exactly the role I'm playing now, not just a mentor role. So I just commented this code. Now what will happen? You guys are able to see the code or not? I'm assuming you guys can see the code. Okay, so there was a code job.set Mapreduce to 0, right? Now what I did is I'm just commenting out this code. What will happen? It creates the reducer part. Okay, that's correct. How many number of reducers? Yeah, default reducer will 1. Correct. So and the default reducer is 1 reducer. Okay, but that's yeah, pretty much fine. So just want to make sure that everyone understand that concept. That's all. Yeah, that's correct. Okay. That's correct. So now nothing more I want to explain over here. The reducer stuff. So now the program, what it's going to do is it's going to take one single input and one single output, right? And one single input will take up the data and then compare with the distribute cache or whatever the functionality that you're mentioning. Let's have a look at how exactly in the employee mapper is written. And please make sure that you're going to copy paste this stuff. And everyone has done a one round of word count execution, or anyone facing an issue in doing that execution word count? Or no one has done word count execution, has it? Okay. Yeah, so that should be the first thing that you guys should be. I'm facing issue with libraries. Basically what? So you are getting a lot of red marks over here. That's exactly what you mean by facing issue with libraries. Okay, let's try to sort that out then. Okay, so okay, so you have a catgill VM. Okay, let's do one thing. Let's utilize this time and just finish off this stuff and come back to your stuff, right? So we have exactly half an hour more. Okay, let's try to firefight that as of now, just after this, once we are done with this. Okay, so yeah, during this session, I mean, when we cover this, I'll explain that. What do you mean by this is different laptop? The one your laptop or I am using, or? Oh, okay. I'm attending session from office laptop. Okay, all right. Okay. Yeah, no issues. I'm going to show. Okay, no, I'm not making you share the screen and all those things. Right. If you're worrying about it, now this guy is going to ask me to share screen and all those things. I'm in trouble. No worries. I'll just try to do that from my end. What could possibly be wrong? All right. Okay. So what you need to understand over here is, why is this behaving weird? Okay, so I'm not going to explain what exactly is a mapper, how many input parameter. We have seen that n number of times, how many number of input files it's going to pick up. Okay, the other stuff, what we need to understand here is now the hash map. Okay, and this custom map is nothing but the hash map for me. I created an object hash map, right? So it's a new hash map, string and string. The two strings have been picked up, right? Key and value. That's exactly what it is. Key and value, right? So this guy, key and value, right? Okay, now moving out. So okay, let me show you guys how does the input file look like. That should be the first one. Okay, that's there in that slide, right? Yeah. So this guy is the one who is being picked into the distribute cache. Okay, and this one who is I'm going to give when I'm going to do my execution of my program. Okay, hope it's clear with everyone. This is something which is kept in the distribute cache, and this guy will be picked up from the distribute cache and will be stored in the hash map. Okay. Okay. So now let's see in the code files, distribute cache, contents.dat configuration. So this code is doing nothing but, can I expand this a little bit more? Let me reduce this guy a little bit more. Okay. Okay. What exactly is happening? Yeah, this is where the lies. The code lies where buffer reader dot new input stream in. So till end of file, it's going to just store your let's actually see the actual data itself, so that gives you a much more perspective of what really is happening. Session 12 customer.csv. Yeah. So this is exactly what's happening. Oh, I think I should. Why is it not opening in? Open with gedit. That's exactly what I want. Yeah. Okay. So that's where the data looks like. Okay. Comma. Okay. Comma. So this is how exactly the data is going to look like for you. Okay. So based on comma, what it's been picked up, it looks like. Let's see the code. I think only first the split of 0 and split of 1 is what picked up. That means this is customer ID and name. City has been left out. Customer ID and name is only one which we are interested in, right? So yeah, split of 0 and split of 1. That's all we are taking it and putting in the custom map, right? So based on line.split, it comes in the split inside the split array. So everyone do understand this part of it, or is it you guys finding it tough to understand? I mean, this is all you need to understand, how exactly it's been placed in the hash map. So what you need to understand is this custom map, which we see over here. See, this is custom map. I've created a hash map. Okay, I created a hash map. I'm assuming you guys can see this, what I'm indicating, because I can't see it because there is a chat window coming on top of me where I'm explaining. Okay, so this guy is being populated using the distribute cache. That's exactly what I'm trying to do. Okay, so this has been, that file, that particular file is open. That file is open, and what exactly? The BR.read line, that one complete line is read. Means, where is this guy now? Yeah, which means this entire guy is being read. Okay, and this will be stored in split of 0, split of 1, split of 2. Okay, split is the name given to it, any name. So basically it's Shaji of 0, Shaji of 1, Shaji of 2. Okay, that's how it's been made. So, and how exactly the split is made? Based on a comma. Okay, whenever the moment sees a comma, it's going to store it in variable. So let me just try to make even 100 Valentine for resolution. 100 Valentine Bangalore. That's how we prefer doing it. 100 Valentine Bangalore. 100 Valentine. Nice name. Bangalore. Bangalore. Okay. So what exactly is happening with split? I'm just telling this for the benefit of those non-Java guys. Okay. So I mean, sometimes some guys might be finding it a little boring, but yeah, we need to take everyone into account. So Valentine and Bangalore. This is nothing but split of 0. Okay. Split of 1 and split of 2. So I'm assuming everyone is fine with this. That's exactly what has been done over there. Okay, and this split is nothing but the split of this. When I do, I'm just making it all these things coming into an array. I mean, yeah, this is not definitely a Java session, so that's the reason I'm just brushing up, but just want to give you a little bit of think of what exactly is that. Okay, so this is how exactly it's been placed. And from this, I'm interested in only these first two guys. That's exactly what's happening over here. Where is it now? Yeah. Yeah, split up. Gone. Yeah. Split of 0 and split of 1. All right. So this makes our logic or hash map complete. So one box I created, which is nothing but ID and name. That's ID and name is been picked, and the box is closed. Okay. Now what I'm trying to do is I'm going to compare. Now what you can see over here is the split of 0. Hash map contain split of 0. So basically that particular, this guy. I am assuming everyone is in sync with our first session of map, how exactly the mapper map works, right? Everyone is aware of how exactly the mapper key in, value in, key out, value it. I know it's a more of a repetition, makes it a lot more boring. Okay, so this splits is what? The value.toString splits of 0. If custom.map.this contains split of zeros, right? So basically it's just doing a comparison. 101 key, if it's available in that particular thing, it's just going to remove. So this is nothing but the initial you can see over here. This code is nothing but to replace all this unwanted junk over here, right? See this guy. It's going to replace all this guy, removal of this particular guy. That's exactly what's happening with that code. Okay, that's been removed, trimmed, and it's going to go into the loop, and then the sum is taken off it. Okay, so the sum of that particular, the value, this 1, 2, 3, 4, all those things will be summed up together. Okay, that's exactly what's happening, and the length is being counted. Why? Just to find out the number of numbers. So basically, what it should give me end result should be, when I take the count, length of it, 1, 2, 3, 4. Number of transactions is 4, and the sum is maybe 53 plus how much it should be? Some 366, 466, and 5, close to 496 or something like that, right? So that's exactly the end result should be there for me. Remaining all beautification, all those things passed out, trim, just making it reduce, and all those things. That's all the program is. It's pretty much very, very small program if you cut down and diagnose this in a very granular way. Okay, so this is one logic where the sum has been picked up, sum has been made, and this is one logic where exactly the the hash map is being created. That's all the logic in this particular mapper program. Is this at least half fine? So I'm pretty much sure some of you guys would not have got the entire concept in, but make sure you're listening to this video, copying this exact same file, trying to execute it, read line by line, read through the lines, and then try to understand it. It's pretty much very, very simple. Even if you see a lot of jargon that is being thrown by the Java thing, you don't need to be bothered about it. Okay, only this key logic, how exactly is being applied, is the only thing you should be interested in. So make sure you're listening to the recording once again. Use exactly the same file, copy paste it, try executing it, and then you should be up and running. Okay, so let's try executing this. Okay, now the issue what Sapna has faced, the error she was not able to figure out. One question which I have, so you have taken up ACADGIL VM or you have using Cloudera or something of that sort, Sapna? ACADGIL VM. So basically when you use ACADGIL VM, you should be getting its YouTube data, word count, WC, all those things you should be getting, correct? You should be having that. Yes. Okay. So when you open this word count stuff, okay, and when you take in the source, this word count.java, does this contain the red mark you're talking about, the red line you're talking about? Does this have the red line? This one, or you are not opened it? The existing program. I'm talking about the existing program. Does this have even the error stuff, whatever you're talking about? And it's for everyone's interest, okay? So make sure you are paying some attention towards it. No, that doesn't have. Okay, so what does it mean is that have a compatible jar file that's been picked. So I'm just trying to tell you how exactly you can firefight or how exactly you can sort out this issue. Okay, so I'm telling it like a common man perspective of how exactly you can sort out this stuff. Oh, come on. If I reduce this. Okay, let me close this. I have too many windows. What I'm missing over here now. I'm finding it very, very tough to use this. Is my perspective completely closed or? Okay, let me use this. Next, oh, come on. Okay, let me. Windows Show View and Project Explorer. Okay. The Explorer stuff should be there. Okay. Oh man, I can't even see that. Yeah, I can. No, thanks, Subha. Just want to confirm, you guys, when I just want in the benefit of this recording. So, do you guys see this chat window happening over here, or chat window is transparent? Because I'm placing it here and there. So, if that comes in the recording, then I don't think that's a good sign. Okay. I don't mouse. I use Windows. It's creating so much of problem in me doing it. Okay. Anyway, let's. Okay. Yeah. So what I was trying to explain is, if you have this source default, yeah. So in case if you don't get this, how exactly it is JRA system library. Okay. And here you can see the component that is being used over. What exactly is the jar file and where exactly is being picked up from. Okay. So they're looking at this. I mean, this is exactly how I sorted out. So that's how I wanted to. Java guys might be having a different option of sorting it out. So I'm just telling whoever is new to this stuff. Okay. So I can see over here, these are all the common files that is available. That's the jars that is being used. Plus, you can see Hadoop map client code 2.6.0, this one, as well as the common one, Mapreduce client, as well as the common one. So these are the two stuff that's required to sort this out. So you do this or you are not. So the location also, you should be able to see it. It's present in user, local, Hadoop, shared, Hadoop Mapreduce. So hope that's what was creating issue for you, Sapna. I'm not sure how exactly you can copy it. Maybe I think Mac or someone who's, did I try copying it? I tried a couple of times copying it, but every time it goofed up for me. So I'm not sure if there are guys who can, I mean, if you guys are expert in how exactly. So normally what I do is, so this path you should be able to remember, user, local, this one, and then so Mac, maybe whoever is using, and Sagar, I guess, or Chandran, I believe. You're all Java guys, right? So if you think copy it, just make sure you're putting a note over there. Is there a way to do it? So directly, no, I was not able to do a direct copy. So is there another alternative way of copying it? I'm not pretty much sure about it. But in case anyone of you know it, please make sure you're putting it the same comment on the chat window so that everyone is benefited with that. So what I normally do, so this is what I created, distribute cache, and right click. Hope everyone knows this build path. Okay. Come on. Now I need to remove this chat window again. Let me put it on one side. Okay. Yeah. Build path and configure build path. Hope everyone is fine with this, right? Or you want me to repeat that process step? And libraries, then add external jar, and then I know where exactly. I mean, looking at that, so it's user, local, Hadoop, this thing, share, Hadoop common, wherever it is. And then what I see, when I go to Hadoop back, then I see a Mapreduce over here, I pick up the remaining of stuff from the Mapreduce thing. Okay, and then I click on OK, I get all my stuff corrected. I mean, without any red lines, or it has a corresponding jar available for it. Hope it helps, Sapna. So, I mean, even if some other guys are facing the same issue. This is how you need to sort that out. Okay. So once you do that, so what should I be doing? So that means my every of my file is correct. There's no error with it. What should I be doing the next step to create a file out of it? Yeah, there are multiple ways of guys handling it differently. So my way of doing it is right click on it. I do an export. Okay. And jar file. Right. Click on next. I've already created a jar file. Now create next. Click on next. So dc1.jar. Right, class and project. I click on this. I click on the next. Next. And then I need to pick up the main class from here. So the moment I browse it, it's going to tell which exactly is the. So I just need to pick up the main class. So I know that employee driver is there, employee map is there. So this employee driver is my main class. I just click on this. And then I click on OK. Okay, I have already done this process. So where exactly I placed it? It's a Cargill. Just before the session, I have done this. So yeah, this exec inside document, inside exec is what my dc.jar file is what I created. Okay, hope everyone is fine with that. Any issue in creating a jar? Or you want to repeat anyone want to repeat the process? I'm assuming everyone is fine. Okay, right click. I'm going to open this in terminal so that it's easy for me to execute it. Okay. Before executing it, if you see the program, you remember where exactly the cache is being placed? It's in / inside the root. I have placed my distribute file, correct? Everyone, is everyone awake or? Where exactly is my distribute mapper? Go down, employee mapper, employee driver. Right, employee driver. Yes. Okay. So it's creating so much of problem for me. I'm finding it very tough to handle. Let me make this small. Let me make this guy pretty small. Okay. Yeah. Now you can see this one. The URI is given as root customer.csv. So when you guys are trying to execute it, that's why I'm repeating this process so that you don't face an issue. So what you need to do is, okay, looking at this, what you should be doing in that case. This is customer.csv. Where should you be placing customer.csv and how exactly I'll be placing it over here? I would like to get a command of doing it. How exactly I should be doing this? My file is sitting in the root customer.csv, right? How should I place that in the customer.csv file? What command should I be using? So I have hard-coded this stuff in my program. So the program is expecting that particular file to be inside root and customer.csv. Yes, that's my question. So how will you place it in customer.csv? The reason we had asked me is, yeah, localhost, this thing. Yeah. So other ways, that's one way of doing it. But we have learned a much simpler way of exactly CFDF. So my intention was just making you guys understand. It should be there in the Hadoop system, right? So that should be there in your back of your mind. It is not in your local Linux system. It should be, this file should be sitting inside the Hadoop environment. That's the reason for asking this question. Perfect. Yeah, that's right, Chandra. So that's where your file should be sitting, right? In the .csv. And the other file, which I should be having, should be sitting inside the Hadoop environment itself. So I'm going to merge two different files, right? These are the two files I have, which I'm going to merge. So this, I already have it in my program. in my distribute cache. This is going to be in Hadoop environment, and then I'm going to take that, pick that up, and then run it, right? So now I have created a jar file. I think jar file is over here, right? This is something which I already executed. Let's keep that aside. I think this one, no, this one. Where exactly is my exec now? Okay, there you go. This is the one. So dc.jar file I created. I'm going to right click. I'm going to right click, open in terminal. I got a terminal, right? Yeah. So now if I do an ls, I can see dc.jar. So that's the reason I have picked it up from there and did it. So now how exactly I'm going to execute it? What should be the command for executing this particular file? Hadoop jar dc.jar. Perfect. And one more thing I have before the session, I have placed my file inside location. Oh, that's, I don't think I have time. Oh, okay. hdfs gfs -ls/work/ I created a work folder, then DC for distribute cache and input. Okay, this is exactly where I place my file. Oh man, where is it coming? Okay, there you go. There it is. Let me take this chat window, move it somewhere. Okay. Yeah, so this is exactly the transaction file which I'm interested in. So I'm just copying this guy. Okay. Copy. So someone has said how to execute it. So I think let's mention how to execute this. No, this is not the guy. Yeah, I think this guy. Okay. So yeah, Hadoop jar dc. And the driver name. Yeah, here we are mentioning created in another way, so I don't need to really mention the driver name because it's going to pick it up driver name from there. So Hadoop jar dc.jar, okay, and then my input file name. And after this, what I should be mentioning is, I think I have repeated this in my previous session, that the output file name which I'm going to give should not be the one which is existing. So now I'm going to give work/dc/output. I'm not sure whether the output we created already. So let me make it as output one. Okay. So this is exactly I'm going to execute this guy. So you should have a mapper. You should have a mapper. You should have a reducer. Right. Yeah, output file. No, output. That's one key thing that you need to understand. Is that output file name or a directory name? Another interview question maybe. It's always a directory name. It's not actually a file name. Okay. Yeah. Directory name. Maybe some very intrinsic thing, but yeah. So our Mapreduce, everything is got completed. So one other thing which I want you guys to do some research on is this counters. This is known as counters. So what are the sort of information that's giving you? That should be something which you guys should be knowing thoroughly. How many number of input records, output records, and what are the sort of information it's providing? That's something interesting facts for you. So you need to understand, try to understand. Most of it, not every of it, because there is some system given details as well. I mean, when I don't understand some of those what exactly has been written. So try to recollect. I mean, try to understand closely. Looking into your input file and output record being written is that the thing we can understand. Okay, that's intention. So mapper reduce 0, and we have made the reducer as 0, right? So how you should be looking into it. It's giving my internet connection is unstable. Why is it unstable? Okay, so let's look into that. So before looking into it, since you guys would have ran your Mapreduce and all those things a couple of times, so how you should be seeing your data now? So do a ls Hadoop EFS minus ls. Right? This is exactly what yeah, M00, just because you don't have the reducer in running. Correct? That's the reason for it. Yeah, part hyphen M hyphen 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And that's exactly what we can see over here. Yeah, that's good. Number of transaction and total number of amount that's being given. And that's exactly what happening through the distribute cache. So another thing what we are supposed to, as part of today, this thing is I want you guys to just have a look even for the reduce side join. Okay, how exactly the reduce side join happens is exactly the same concept, but only thing is that it's instead of having a join at the initial phase of the mapper phase, this same join is going to happen at the end phase. So there is a program given over here. Make sure you are executing that program before our next session, so that and then try to come up with some questions that you have. Okay, so instead of this is what we saw just now. The join will be picked up over here. Okay, both files will be a bigger files, and that files will get merged, and that's how exactly the reduce side join is going to happen. Okay, and what else is there? Yeah, so I'm assuming there is an assignment available for this after this session. So when should we mention driver name? That's actually a typical scenario for me too. So what has happened is when I create a jar file, so when you create a jar file over here, okay, at times it works, at times it doesn't work. Okay, so when you create a jar file the way we have created just now, you for sure you don't need to create a driver name. So if you would have noticed how exactly I created my jar files. At time I create a runnable jar. Okay, what exactly I'm talking about? If you right click over here, export option, this runnable jar. Okay, so now what we created is jar file. Okay, when you create a runnable jar, at times you may have to specify, otherwise it's not picking up as the first parameter. I mean, that's my finding, but basically, theoretically, that should not happen because one place what we see over here is when you do a right click, okay, when you do go for an, okay, let's quickly see this. Click on next and click on next. Okay, so this is the place where you're actually mentioning select the class application entry point. So you're actually making the system understand that this is my first jar entry point where you need to execute. So that's the reason, one reason you're not going to execute. I mean, you're not going to specify a driver class name. Whereas if you do the other way around, if you make it as a jar file, this one, runnable jar. So if you have three particular files, it's not able to recognize which file it needs to pick up as a first driver file. So that's the time when you create this, you may have to give the file name, the driver name, not the file name, in fact, the driver name. But what I've seen it, even at times it works without, I'm not sure how exactly it does a mapping and then works it, but for this scenario, you definitely need not give a driver name because we are, when we are doing through this IDE, we are actually specifying the driver name and giving it. But in this case, we are not giving that. We are actually creating a jar name, and the system needs to detect it and do it. So that's that time you have to mention the driver name at times. Hope that answered your question, Sapna. Any questions? So make sure you are executing that other part, looking into details and take the file. So, and there should be an assignment which may not be the next one. So make sure you, during the weekend, you guys try to complete that stuff. And so that you have some multiple questions and stuff like that. And that's the first. I mean, so make sure before you have major project coming up, and there is some sort of a marking being awarded for it. That's being completely governed. I mean, done by the technical team. So make sure you're doing those assignments pretty. That can give you a much smoother run when you do a final project. So please take it in the serious way and try doing it so that your learning curve is much easier one. Yeah, I do not have anything more to. We are 3 minutes extra than our normal timing. So in case you guys don't have anything, if someone has any questions, please raise it. Otherwise, we'll wrap up for today. So since no one doesn't look like any questions. So one suggestion, one this thing from my end would be, request from my end would be, please try executing it. So in case if you never understood any of this 10 sessions, I mean, I'm not sure how many, if it's exactly the 10 session which is being conducted, nothing of this, forget about it. No worries. But this program, or I mean, first and the foremost, pig will be what my major interest would be. Take that, start executing it. So that should make you guys in a much more comfort zone, because listening to all this theory it's not definitely going to make you guys help unless and until you start doing your hands, you feel that confidence. I mean, that's exactly how things will proceed, and then you will start getting interest on changing some minor part of it and coming up with better results. Okay. No more GAN, no more fundas. So you all have a wonderful night. Sleep tight, and speak to you guys on coming Thursday. All right. Which session? Yeah, it's advanced Mapreduce is what we cover today, which covers distribute cache and all those things. So even the next session is going to be advanced Mapreduce. After that, we're going to have Hive, space. Yeah. All right. Then speak to you guys on coming Thursday. Thank you very much and good night.